Hi everyone. I've mentioned in multiple videos that FPL content creation is a $1 million industry. What I haven't mentioned is how. So in this video, I'll share some examples on how you can potentially make money in the world of FPL. Important caveat, before we begin, I'm not endorsing any of these techniques, but I'm simply sharing what I've seen within the FPL community over the past 10 years, and none of the methods are guaranteed to automatically generate money. Rather, these are observations on how it can possibly be done. With that said, let's get straight into it. Number one, believe it or not, you don't actually have to create any content. You can enter mini leagues that offer cash prizes for the winner. But with that said, it's important to note that FPL prohibits entering leagues where you pay a fee to join. But it's not forbidden to join free to enter leagues that offer cash prizes. One way of doing this is by simply going to a social media platform such as Twitter X and search FPL League Prize, and you'll see a number of options at hand. Caveat, there is no guarantee that even if you win the mini league, that you'll be given the prize, even if you follow all the rules, so keep that in mind too. Therefore, bookmark tweets that offer prizes, so you have a record of the proposed prizes, and try to enter mini leagues from established accounts that have a proven track record on providing prizes. And another pro tip, to increase your chances of winning a prize, just enter mini leagues that have a low number of FPL managers. You can see this as soon as you enter a mini league. Number two, when it comes to FPL gameplay, we often say that you have to speculate to accumulate. Likewise, when it comes to content creation, as you continue your journey on this front, you have to invest to be the best. You don't have to go all out from the get-go. It's all about making gradual adjustments. This could be the difference from the microphone or lighting that you use over time to having a green screen. The reality is that in order to showcase your content in the best way possible, you'll need to make these investments along the way to attract the right kind of attention. Number three, you're not going to make money overnight from FPL unless you're a high-profile influencer from a non-FPL background. From the get-go, you need to be able to hook your audience in by creating a rapport and getting their attention, whether it's done consciously or subconsciously. Many of the biggest FPL content creators use neuro-linguistic programming techniques, better known as NLP. In one case, an FPL content creator has openly discussed using it. So what is NLP? It's considered by some to be a form of psychotherapy as an approach to communication, as a way of creating better connections. It's not a form of hypnosis, but it is used by hypnotherapists. Just to add, it's not something that I've studied, nor do I go out of my way to use in my own content. I'm not even endorsing the use of NLP. I actually favor inbound marketing techniques, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. My point is that in order to get going on your monetization journey, you need to be able to find a methodology to get your audience's attention and create a sense of brand loyalty, as it were, which brings me on to my next point. Number four, before you deep dive into the world of FPL content creation for the sake of making money, you need to be fully aware that it's a heavily saturated industry due to the nature of the game. A lot of content titles, to the video thumbnails, to the actual content itself looks almost the same. So before you can earn, you need to learn one simple thing: find the best way to stand out from the crowd. You need your own unique selling point. You need to have some sort of difference. You need a distinct character, and you need an authentic personality. And of course, you need to create good content. And as harsh as it may sound, if you want to attract a large audience, you need to write from their viewpoint and understand what content they'd want to read rather than what you want to push out. As an example, have a look at Google Trends to see the kind of FPL terms that are trending. Therefore, you need to do your research and recognize the persona types that follow you and play the game, and tailor your content to what is useful for them. And you need to do this on a regular basis. By default, this will help build your profile and take you to the next step. Number five, one of the ways in which you'll know that your content creation is heading in the right way is when you're contacted with affiliate and partnership opportunities. But it's important that you don't just say yes to the first opportunity or yes to every opportunity. Sometimes it's okay to say no. You'll need to do some due diligence and see if their ethics and goals align with yours, and if you want to expose your audience to them. Do not take this for granted, especially when keeping in mind that we're all playing a free-to-play game. And of course, you want to show your audience how they can add more value to their own fantasy football experience while keeping them safe. Number 6, around the same time as exploring affiliate opportunities, you may also be approached to write for an established outlet. But once again, do their ethics align with yours? Are you happy to be associated with them and their track record? You need to keep that in mind too. There's also no harm in doing a free article for them if they ask you to do so. But at the same time, if you're writing regularly for them, you definitely have a right to ask to be paid within their means as a recognized content creator, especially if they're operating as a business. Number 7, going behind a paywall. This is something that should happen a lot later in your content creation journey, and this is not for everyone, and it's extremely hard to do. It really depends on how big your audience is and the rapport that you have with them. But most importantly, are you adding more value to them with paid content? Are your gated assets really worth it? The very best content creators who are behind a paywall can justify it. At this point, you need to be in a position to work on FPL content almost daily, even during preseason. Are you prepared to do that? Is it worth it? If so, the Patreon route may be for you, but it's worth gauging with your audience to see if they would support that. Otherwise, there's no point in doing so. Number 8, if your goal is to make money from FPL, then you need to do your research for the best platform to use. Some platforms are better geared to monetization than others. After all, content creation constantly evolves, and what was the norm last year could be outdated today. Look at the platforms that offer you the best way forward and are compatible with your content creation goals. So to conclude, it goes without saying that some may be able to make money from FPL far quicker than others. It's not going to be easy when the market is heavily saturated with brand loyalty already locked in. But what's working in your favor is the ever-increasing growth of fantasy football managers every season, especially those who are becoming more engaged than ever before. So the audience, as it were, is growing. You need to stand out from the crowd, build rapport, and do the best you can with your skills and talent. There's a lot of learning that is required along the way as well. Lastly, there's nothing wrong with creating fantasy football content without the goal of making money. After all, it's just a hobby for many, and there's no harm in simply helping people out just for the sake of it. So there you have it. Take care and all the best.